All right. Looks like I'm live on YouTube too. So I think I'm live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Running off the same computer. So yeah, I think I pulled it off. All right, cool. So let's see. Oh, yep. I see it starting on YouTube. All right, cool. What's happening, everybody? Tonight it is Thursday. So tonight is Thrifty Biz with J&A. So Facebook, do me a favor. Can you hear me? And then if you're on YouTube, do me a favor. Can you hear me? I know it's going to take a second for a couple people to get in here, but I want to make sure. Debbie Keith on YouTube, I'm guessing you can hear me just fine. Mary can hear me just fine. And then Tom Faxton on Facebook, I guess you can hear me just fine. So YouTube is a yes. Okay, cool. And Facebook, let me know. Those of you in the coming live to you at the thrifting board. Yep, Tom, thank you. All right, cool. So tonight we got a great guest. Probably, and this is no dig at any guest we've had on our show. Probably the funnest guest we'll ever have. Like Nadine's already like, this is the best guest you've ever booked. And we haven't even had her yet. It's my friend Kelly Patterson. She has a channel on YouTube and Facebook. And she is the Velveteen Lounge Kitchen, but not spelled like the regular kitchen. It's Kitsch, as in kitschy stuff. And so she has a couple weekly shows where she makes cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, and kind of lives her life and talks about all things kitschy. Now, kitschy, and we'll talk about that tonight, like the definition of it. But I view kitschy as stuff from the late 50s through the 60s, kind of ended at the early 70s. Now, it can be broader than that for some. But for those of you who have no idea what kitsch is, I thought I'd give you a quick primer so you can actually be thinking about it and not just be like kind of caught off guard. So I gather things around my house. For those of you who don't know, my entire house is Tiki top to bottom. So my kitsch definitely leans one way, leans to Tiki and Hawaiian. So whereas hers is more overall, she's got some Tiki, but not all Tiki. Me, on the other hand, all stay the same way. But let's show you some kitschy stuff. So for starters, Fez's work into kitsch. What's up, Rakin? Fez's work into kitsch right away, and we'll talk about a little bit about that tonight. They kind of work into the Tiki crowd, even though they're really not Tiki. But people collect them, people hunt for them. I have many around my house. Rakin's been here. He says my house is a Tiki museum, so this is very kitschy. And then one of our favorite artists, being me and my wife, is Shag. He's a current artist, and this is one of his shirts. And he definitely looks old and 60s kitschy. So all his modern stuff is definitely fits into the vein of kitschy and Tiki. So that is kind of like the jumping off point. Now, what a lot of people think of when they hear kitsch is things like paint by number, which would be right here. So this awesome pair, but not just one. This came as a twofer. Ooh. So this was a two set, and they would probably go this way, I would assume. So these are definitely things from the 50s and 60s, and obviously, I mean, all paint by number can be kitschy, but then if you find something specific, like this would be great in a Tiki bar. So, tonight we're going to learn about kitschy, but you got to think about it from a seller standpoint. What would sell? What is outside your norm to look for to find to add to your bottom line? Because we all have our specialty. I know Rakin ain't never buying nothing kitschy, but maybe he will if he watches the show. So so paint by numbers is one thing that's very kitschy. Along the same lines is gravel art. So this is like a paint by number. There would have been a thing in here where it says glue all the number ones here, and the number ones were light blue, and then glue all the number twos here, and the number twos were dark blue. And then you get this gravel art. So as you can see, the gravel. So this is definitely 60s. Most definitely 60s. So that is kitschy all the way. Now, kitschy oftentimes, I don't think this works for me. There we go. Kitschy oftentimes is souvenirs from a bygone era. So here is a set of, it's not even a set. I've been fooled all these years. Here's a napkin holder from Vegas. It was sold at M&S Souvenirs for $1.49. And basically it's a rooster with all the different logos of the cool casinos. Now, all this time I thought these were actually napkins. Nope. Just it'll show you where the napkins go. This is 100% kitsch right here. We'll stay in the Vegas theme. Now, this is not super old because you can see Paris, but the Mirage no longer has Siegfried and Roy. Treasure Island is no longer Treasure Island. It's TI. The Imperial Palace, which is right here, is long gone. So this this would definitely be kitschy and definitely a little bit older. So as I said, I think of it as late 50s through the 60s into the 70s. This would definitely be a way more modern thing, but because it's got this, like, who buys these metal trays anymore? Like, what's the point of these? It is kitsch all the way. Debbie Parker's our kitsch virgin. So cool. Now let's go backwards. So that's a more modern kitschy Vegas thing. All right, these plates. Now, collectible plates aren't really that collectible. People don't really buy them. But, you know, when you have a plate where everything on the plate except for one is still, or two are still in business, then you can play off of what's gone. There is no Stardust. The Tropicana is still here. There is no Thunderbird. The Golden Nugget's still here. The Flamingo's still here, but there is no Desert Inn. Riviera is a flat parking lot now. Sahara is turned into the SLS, and the Sands is long gone. So very kitschy, but the way you sell this is not just as a kitschy collectible Las Vegas plate. It features the places that are long gone because people get nostalgia. All right, so that's that. And now we're going to talk about cocktail kitsch, because tonight, Kelly really, her and her husband, they do cocktails every week. Like they do their show and they make, like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 cocktails a week. So they're always doing cocktail stuff. So this is the Bar Association. And when you think of Bar Association, you think of lawyers, but not this one. This is little cocktail glasses for gin, bourbon, rye, and rum. So this is 100%. This is what you think of when you think of kitsch, or what you should think of. This was a little gift to take home from a trip. And man, this one came from Wyoming, as you can see. We wouldn't buy things like this nowadays, but boy, back in the 60s and 70s, we sure did. Things like this too. Hey, no drinking till 5 o'clock. Oh, what time is it? Oh, it's always 5 o'clock. That is really 100% kitschy and cocktail kitschy. And we're definitely talking about a lot of cocktail kitschy tonight. Now, kitschy does not have to be just straight up cocktails or straight up Tiki and Hawaiian. Like I was saying, this is kitschy, and this is for old school cowboys. These I just thrifted. Oops, wrong way. So I have a whole set of these. So this is definitely aimed at a person who's into kitschy stuff that is cowboy stuff. So, you know, it is not just one certain type of thing. It is not just Las Vegas souvenirs. It is not just Tiki and Hawaiian. It can be cowboys things too. So yeah, it is definitely 5 o'clock somewhere. Now, this is a more modern thing. This was 1986. But if you ignore the date on the plaque, you would say, dude, that is 100% atomic kitschy. And atomic's a big thing. And we'll get into atomic tonight with Kelly, because that piques a lot of people's interest. This must have been a award for a, oh, crap. What's that card game called? Bridge. Thank you. Help myself. So this was an award for a bridge tournament from 1986, but man, it is awesome. So you can change the date. It's got the cards. It's got this part here. So cool. So cool. I just picked this up at Savers for $7. Now I could sell this, but it's my guest bedroom across the hall is Las Vegas. So that stays in the Las Vegas room. Glenn says, hey, Jason, hope I can get that Tiki glass. What Tiki glass? Do we have something going on? Please remind me, because bless you. Because I got so many things going on, I tend to get lost. Now, speaking of glasses, hey, thanks for the great segue, Glenn. Old cocktail glasses for Mai Tais, and they're called a double rocks glass. Anything Don Ho is 100% kitsch. Tiny Bubbles is like the ultimate in kitsch. So keep your eyes open for vintage rocks glasses, double rocks glasses, Mai Tai glasses, whatever you want to call them. Because besides having Tiki mugs and all our Tiki bars, we all have these glasses too. So if you're not looking for these, someone is. All righty. Now let's go back to Hawaiian souvenirs. So Coco Joe's is a great Hawaiian souvenir company that doesn't exist anymore. But when you were in Hawaii 20, 30, 40 years ago, you'd pick up some Coco Joe's little tikis and stuff to go home with. And one of the cool things, and you never find this sealed like I did, is this tiki canoe, but it came with 3 Hawaiian jellies. You always find the canoe. I got a couple of them, but you never find it still sealed. And boy, that is kitschy. The little plastic flowers, the aloha on the top of the jelly jars. That's the kind of stuff that, boy, you find this. If I wanted to sell this, this would go for a good penny right there. Now you can take kitschy, and I got to say the ultimate in kitschy is the the hula girl for your dashboard, but you can take Kitschy and make it creepy, awesome, weird by just adding an eyeball. So these are the same thing. This is crazy one, and this is normal one. See? So you can also take Kitschy and make it something else. Make it creepy. Now, some things are kitschy I buy because I like, and then I find out they're worth a ton of money. Hey, Glenn, just email or message me again, and whatever you're talking about, I apologize right this second. I'll definitely take care of. I bought this in an antique store because I loved it. Thought it was gorgeous. Hawaiian girl sitting on a stump of wood for whatever reason. I still got the sticker on it. I paid $19. And then I just saw one sell for $143. So just my love of kitsch can make me money accidentally because I just bought it to have it. And same thing here. This is kitschy, a more tribal than Hawaiian. So I actually paid a good amount for this because I really like this piece, but all these pieces sell for a good amount of money. So things that you might not be looking for or might not be on your radar, this is what you should be looking for. Yeah. So Open Resource says, do you have a link to our YouTuber? Will Velveteen Lounge Kitchen work? Yeah. Just type in Velveteen Lounge. Just Google it. You'll see her on Facebook. You'll see her on YouTube. Everything. This would be another souvenir, very kitschy from Hawaii. It's got it's a music box. It works. This is Waikiki Chemo, and this is the kind of thing you would bring home. Like, oh my gosh, we went to Hawaii, and this is the souvenir I brought my kids. And of course, tiki mugs. Tiki mugs always work into kitschy stuff. I happen to have a whole house of tiki mugs, and cocktail stirs are all part of that too. So keep your eyes on for that. And then know the difference between modern and vintage. Okay, this is kind of the same tiki. This is modern. This weighs about 4 ounces. This is vintage. This is solid wood. This weighs a couple pounds. And the look of this face changed. So even if you're into kitsch, if you're into mid-century modern home, and you're not want it full tiki like I do, you will see people. Oh dear. Hey, look, my co-host is calling. We'll call her back in a minute. You will find these in people's kitschy mid-century modern homes. They might not go full tiki, but they will definitely have these old 1960 tikis. These were great souvenirs. And man, you find the good old ones, and you can tell by the carving once you know, they're worth a ton of money. But you got to know them, and you got to market them right. All right, last couple things I want to show you, and then tonight we're going to talk about way more than this, is records, music. There is kitschy music. It's not called kitschy music. It's called cocktail music. It's called Exotica. It's called surf works its way in. So one of the kings of Exotica is Esquivel. And if you don't know Esquivel, go Google this and listen. Where is it? Whoop. Go Google this and listen to some of it before the show tonight, because this is the epitome of what your mid-century modern home or lounge should sound like. This is actually a modern version they re-released because he was from a long time ago. And they re-released it on cool blue vinyl. So this is collectible. But when I'm talking about cocktail records, boom. That's what I'm talking about. All about cocktails, songs related to, good pictures on the cover. Because the other thing is, people don't always buy the records for the record. They will buy it for the art. This is something people will hang up. And I'm going to show a demonstration on tonight's show of a record that all of us who have tiki bars hunt for. And someone just sold the empty cover for $30 because it's that rare that someone would pay $30 to hang it up as art. I don't have one. I'm always on the hunt for one, but there are two uses for records, art and music. So keep that in mind. And then there's books to kind of help you and teach you and talk to you. So Grotto says, so is kitschy something similar to Fallout Shelter, the game? I don't know what that game is. So based on it being called Fallout Shelter, I'll maybe say yes with a question mark. Boop, boop. So here's a book all about paint by numbers and gravel art. It's a modern book, but it talks all about the history of it and shows you examples and stuff. So it's a great, great book as a reference. Pad was a great book that came out. It's kind of like how to build your mid-century modern pad. The Guide to Ultra Living. It gives you all kinds of art projects, shows you the lamps and stuff you should have, which I'm going to show you 2 lamps to finish this out at. Here's a great book on black velvet paintings. Black velvet paintings is very, very kitschy. And of course, the ones you really want are the nudes. The nudes will sell for a ton of money, but others will do well too. and Lays, Luau's, and Aloha, the lure of Hawaii in the 50s. So it is all kitschy from the 50s here in Hawaii. And this is a book co-written by my buddy Charles Phoenix, who has made a career out of kitschy, basically. And so it's giving you all these images so you can start to see, you know, what you're looking for in terms of lamps and bedding and everything else. Things that if you're not into the scene like I am, you might not notice. And so hopefully with this little kind of primer, and then tonight you will start to notice this stuff more. And one of the coolest things when it comes to kitsch is different decanter sets. So here's one of my favorites. It's a tugboat. So you got your 2 shot glasses right there. You got your decanter right there. You got your 2 shot glasses back there. And I got all kinds of these downstairs. And I'm always on the hunt for these cool decanters. And it's a music box. And they all play the same song, How Dry I Am. That means I need some booze. All right. So last thing I'm going to show you, then I'll see if there's any questions before I sign off. This is the ultimate in kitschy lamps. These seashell lamps. And sometimes they'll be religious. Sometimes they'll have Jesus in them. So this is one thing. And then tiki bars, mid-century modern homes, 60s lounges, they'll all have what's called chunky lamps hanging up. And this is a chunky lamp. So they kind of look like art projects from the 60s. And I'm going to unplug it so you can see it without it being lit up. That's a chunky lamp. Often they are round, but they can be all different shapes and sizes. Those sell for good money, and you want to buy them when you can get them cheap because I'll buy them off you. All right. So, yeah. And Tracy's talking about my mom's spaghetti lamps. Yep. If you don't know what a spaghetti lamp is, eBay search that as soon as we're done here because those also fit into the aesthetic of tiki bars and mid-century modern. So Fall Shelter is a little more apocalyptic mixed with mid-century modern. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. What's the name of the Charles Phoenix book? Well, Charles has many, but this one I'm holding is called Lays, Luau's, and Aloha. So Charles is a friend of ours, and he made a career, an entire career, out of showing other people's vacation slides from the 50s and 60s that he found in thrift stores. So it used to be just to friends, and now he's a judge on one of the cake cooking shows. He's been on Martha Stewart, all kinds of other stuff. So Charles has become quite a big deal. Just because he found some slides in a thrift store and bought a slide projector and showed some friends. So let's see here. Any questions? I see a lot of good comments. Yeah, even my mom said Charles slideshows are a must. Yeah, so there you go. That's kind of your primer for kitschy. And it is, you know, things that most people, and I'm guessing most of you watching, we got 39 on Facebook and we got 67, so 100 on YouTube, so 100 of you watching right now. Most of you, save for my mother, obviously, would probably skip it by. Not all of you, but most of you probably don't know this. It's not in your wheelhouse. You are not looking for 1960s lamps to light up your house. You are content with modern lighting, and that's just fine. But me and my wife and my mom and a lot of our friends love all this stuff. Right? So you may be in a corner of the world that none of us are. And so if you find some cool stuff, then you are a better off seller because you're going to be able to sell it and make some money. So that's we're not going to so much talk about the selling tonight because Kelly doesn't sell, but we're going to talk about what it is. And I mean, and her house is like my house. It is top to bottom. It is awesome. So if you have not seen her videos, I'd go check out a couple. But be warned, if you end up liking them, you will fall down the Velveteen Lounge Kitchen rabbit hole. I've been down it 3 times this week. Other friends who have tuned into it have been down it because they're a lot of fun. And most of them they do one show that's about 15 minutes long, and then weekly little shows that are like 2 minutes long. So they're quick little snippets. And next thing you know, you've watched like 18 of them. You're like, whoa. And Heather said, I'll miss tonight's show because of class. I can't wait to watch later. Yes. And that's the good thing about modern day stuff. And that we're talking old stuff. Everything that we do on YouTube and on Facebook or whatever, it's there to watch after the fact. The good thing about watching live is you can join the chat like we're doing right now on YouTube. And you can ask questions of the guest. But if you watch after the fact, no biggie, because it'll be there to watch whenever you want, day or night, as many times as you want. And hey, this worked out. I got 2 cameras going on the exact same computer on 2 different platforms, and hey, it worked. same angle. So that's pretty cool. I think I'll be doing this from now on. So that way, depending on where you're hanging out on the interwebs or on your mobiles, you can jump in to either Facebook or YouTube. So cool. All right, cool. Well, that's it. So tonight, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, Thrifty Business with J&A. YouTube, tune in, be ready, have a cocktail. Now, I usually just drink rum, and if you've seen Kelly's videos, they make cocktails. So I'm in to honor her and how she does it, I'm going to make a cocktail and the way she does it tonight. So tune in for that. It's a very simple cocktail. It's only got 4 ingredients, but I'll be making an actual cocktail during my Tiki time on the air tonight. So that is it. And I will see you guys in 7 hours. Bye-bye. Goodbye, Facebook. And goodbye, YouTube. Have a good day. See you later.